Hello everybody, this is a timey-wimey video of the little larch trees that I labelled A and B and asked you which one should go into which pot way back when. You can check that out in the playlist. You chose this tree going into this green pot, and it was repotted last year and it soaked all of last year. This year it's really come into its own. This was going to be part of a timey-wimey video, and I lost some of the beginning parts when I had a computer problem, but we'll just quickly hop back to the 7th of May and have a look at this tree then. It's the 7th of May and this tree is growing away really quite nicely now, and I'm going to start pinching back some of these long growths. Just finger and thumb, pull and twist. Just bringing it back into proportion. These shoots will just continue to grow in a sort of dead straight line if I don't, and this will induce some back budding. Some of these aren't really long enough yet to pinch, so they'll be left, and as I've said with other trees, as they begin to, these shorter ones begin to push out, then you can just nip them off as you see them. Just little pair of larches, and this is almost at the stage for pinching out, but not quite. It's not quite as far ahead as the other one. I'm going to let it grow. I'm going to let these shoots grow out another inch or so all over before I pinch it back. Still got a certain something in this tree, although it's much lower and squatter than the other one. It's nice to have trees that look different, rather than well, what I've heard called cookie cutter trees in the past, where you see a whole bunch of mass-produced trees on a shelf, all looking much of a muchness. Okay, so as I say, it's the moving on time. It's the 4th of June, and the tree has responded to that pinching by throwing out more shoots quite strongly, which I'm just going to pinch again, and I'm not going to do any wiring or anything this time of year, just pinching it out, in particular where I've got species growing straight up like that. I want to get rid of those, and this tree should continue to throw out a few more shoots, which I can then choose, train in, and keep with some structural work next winter. There's a piece going back across the trunk. We don't need that, and we probably don't need that, so I'm going to take that right off. That was just going to obscure the trunk. In fact, I'm going to trim that back a little more as well. Okay, so that was the tree we called A. And here is the tree we called B. A little shorter and a little squatter in stature. In fact, quite different to the other one, but I don't want two that look exactly the same. What would be the point of that? I'm really not a fan of the cookie cutter, as it's called, approach to bonsai, when you see row upon row of trees all wired into an S shape and all looking exactly the same, usually for the Christmas market, where they're sold in supermarkets and DIY stores, and given to people who didn't ask for them, didn't really want them, and then blame themselves when the trees die. usually because they're planted in the most awful compost available. Just enough to sustain them in a container on the way over from China, I'm told. I don't know if that's true. Am I spreading a vicious rumour? Quite possibly. I'll stop doing that. Let's lose that so you can see the trunk line a little more. As I say, these will get a more structural fine-tuning in the autumn winter time, ready for next spring. So it's the 28th of June, and the trees have responded to their previous pinching out reasonably well, so I'm going to actually nip out a few of these longer wayward shoots again. You never know your luck, you might get another flush. Some of these I'm going to leave to grow a little bit longer before I pinch out the tips. With some you can just nip them out and have done with it, really. Okay, so that's that one. And again, this one I'm just going to nip out a few of these longer shoots that have grown away, and a few of these are growing in awkward directions, and some of them at the back there got quite long, so I'm going to bring this tree a little bit more compact. As I think I've said in previous videos, or previous parts of this video even, the tree will likely get a more structural prune in the spring, just before it starts to open new bud, or at least some point over the winter. And of course it's lost all its needles. Is a good time for that because you can actually see what you're snipping. Okay, so these are going back on the bench. So it's the end of September now, so I'm going to draw this video to a close. This little larch is going to require some structural pruning over winter, and I'm sure I will get around to videoing that, and possibly I'll include some pictures or video of it when it's in its autumn colour. Likewise, this little guy again is going to require a little bit of trimmage. It's got some crossing branches in there that I can see right now, and some branches going in perhaps the wrong directions, but I'm going to leave those in place to help build strength for the tree to get through the next winter. We've had a couple of relatively mild winters. Who knows what this winter's going to throw at us. Luckily down here in the southwest of England, not the coldest part of the world, but we do get frost occasionally. So as I say, I think this is where I'll leave this one. So thank you very much for watching. Do all the usual YouTube things, the liking, the subscribing, the commenting, but most of all, please stay safe, everybody.